to do this because with a guest. Usually we just...
This is the first edition of two mics and a not mic.
Two mics, one guest, I guess.
Well, you guys did make me go through all that paperwork where I had to change my name.
Yeah.
Which felt like a lot.
It did.
So this doesn't feel genuine, though.
No, I don't know.
You didn't want to be named Mike, and we kind of did force that on you.
We did. I think the branding probably was a little too much.
Well, yeah, and I feel like it was expensive and like genuinely a lot of paperwork. And I mean, I'm happy to be here and thank you for having me, but good God.
No, I mean, we really appreciate taking the time, Mike. It's just, you know.
Huh?
What?
This is
were you addressing me?
This is going to get confusing. Holy shit. Welcome on, Kyle Kemper.
Hey, thanks for having me. Am I my first guest?
Second, technically, but like the first one. Well, because we had...
I was technically the first
Well,
guest.
technically, you were the first... Well, no, I mean, if you want to go down the genealogy of this podcast, it was
Were you ever just doing this by yourself?
I was
with nobody?
for a long time.
That had to have been the shittiest show ever.
Did I ever tell you about the time my mom was accidentally a guest?
Oh, I love it.
Accidentally.
I was doing it live at the time. I was using it differently. It's different software, and I'd been living here like 6 months when I first moved to Dayton, and I'm sitting here working on. All of a sudden, from upstairs, I hear my mom call down, "Mike, I baked cookies."
I kind of wish you'd do that tonight.
I know. It just became a podcast tradition. Well, you know what that means? It's time for cookies.
Yeah,
you need to record her yelling that and add it to like your soundboard.
Yeah. I'm sure they can find that. It exists on a hard drive somewhere. I've got like all my old hard drives and stuff. I'm such a hoarder of data. I never throw and delete any files. I just repurpose them.
It's probably good.
Probably.
I'm the opposite because I'll wait till my phone's like, hey, you can't do anything else on your phone, and so you delete stuff, and then I don't want to go through it, so I'm just like, let's just delete all these memories. Who needs them?
Yeah.
But how often are you going back and looking at stuff?
It's a great question.
Never.
Yeah.
But like, I still feel like I'm doing something wrong when I delete stuff.
I know it feels dirty, but like I take a picture and I go, am I ever gonna look at this? Mm-hmm. Or like when I see someone filming at a concert, I'm like, are you going to go back and rewatch that concert?
That's what I'm really bad about the concert.
There are three things I refuse to delete, and that is pictures of my cat, pictures of my family, and concert stuff. Yeah. Even comedy clips I will delete before I get rid of
videos at concerts. Like,
oh yeah, dude.
Just terrible quality. Yeah. Metallica playing Enter the Sandman.
Oh no, not terrible. No, the terrible ones go away.
Okay.
I keep the good ones.
You get good.
Well, how do you get good? It can't be that good.
Bro, I'm good at what I do. Have you met me?
You're lugging all this equipment into the concert.
It's all about how you hold your phone, man. And knowing your phone settings.
That's good enough to be worth anything, right?
For me, it is.
I'm saying this to myself, too. I have 800 videos of Manchester Orchestra.
Exactly. Mine are, every time I go, like Judas Priest, I've got 1,000 videos of Judas Priest because it's Judas Priest. So I get it. Honestly, I do go back.
Put them up on YouTube, they get 23 views.
Nah, I put them up as reels. They get banger.
Really?
I still get comments on my Judas Priest reels. That shit. Concert junkies go back to that shit all the time. I've got playlists on YouTube of just like favorite concert videos and shit that I've saved.
I've also maybe been to 3 concerts in my life.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you're not like a music kind of guy.
I'll kind of go to Best Buy and just listen to audio of the printers going. That's about it.
I fall asleep to stuff like that.
That's what gets me going.
Yeah. Oh, white noise machines rule.
Yeah. You know what? You don't see a lot of black noise machines.
No, I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
Yo,
something to be talked about.
Oh man, what would those sound like? And don't be racist.
Well, then I'm not playing.
I'm not playing.
Then I'm not playing the game.
Family Guy did it. I can't. I'm sorry.
They did.
They had a bit where it was the African American heart monitor, and it was just yeah. Oh, he did.
That's way better.
Kyle, what have you? Because when did we do that trip, the three of us up to Cleveland? Was that 2 years ago? 1 year ago?
It's probably last spring, March, April-ish.
Mm-hmm. Was it last year? I don't know. Time has no meaning anymore. I haven't seen you as much since then, but comedy's been busy for you. It seems like.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. As busy as it can be. But I mean, really, I'm just chasing the dragon that was that trip to Cleveland. I mean, let's be honest. That's what it was.
Good trip.
It was a good. By the way, a big factor of when someone's like, "Hey, do you want to do this road gig?" I'm like, "Who's going?" because I don't care what the gig is. I need it to be a good hang in the car.
Gotta be a good hang.
Because I'm like, I don't really care about the show. And probably that's not a good thing to say as a comedian. But I really don't. I can do those here. So it's like, will it be a good time? And I get good stories out of it. And we did. We had a good time. And we almost had to fight a guy.
We did.
For monetary purposes.
Yeah, for all $30.
Yeah.
$30. I know.
That is very funny too. It's like,
It's the principle.
yeah. If it was anything else in life and someone shorted you $30, you'd be like, well, that sucks. But it's like, no, I need that $30.
Yeah.
I worked for this.
Yeah.
None of us needed it at the time either. Like it was $30. Like we probably weren't.
We spent.
I don't think any of us were struggling.
We
that
spent
bad.
way more than that on the gas and the snacks. Good Lord, we raided that 7-Eleven.
And we went to McDonald's.
And we went to McDonald's.
And do you ever think about like if you like told people like, because that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm having like a weird crisis about things where it's like when I was first starting out, someone's like, do you want to drive to Indianapolis and do 2 minutes of comedy? And I'm like, yeah, of course. And it was for free. And then now it's like, someone's like, do you want to get paid $500 to drive 30 minutes to do stand up? And I go, I don't know. I got to see what's on TV that day. If there's nothing good, I'll go. But
There's so many.
Is that the
like,
same night
follow-up
Agatha
questions.
drops a new episode?
There's just follow-up questions now. Before it's a yes without question.
Yeah.
Now,
because like if you told that to somebody who doesn't do stand up, I mean, I still love stand up. I don't want to seem like I'm shitting on it at all, but it's like, because I still do crazy gigs for very little money. But if you tell that to anyone else, I remember I still lie to my parents all the time. Because they'll like casually ask, they're like, oh, like, what are you doing tonight? I'm like, oh, I got a gig. And they're like, does it pay well? I go, oh, yeah, a couple hundred. Does not pay. I'm just driving. I don't know why I'm lying. They're not really like, they don't have a hold over me anymore. I'm a grown adult man. But
and you don't live with them anymore.
I do not live with them.
So you've got one up on me.
You know what? It's not a contest, but I'll be going back soon. The way things are going, I gotta start taking more gigs.
I do that too. I allow my parents to believe that I'm doing great with comedy.
Yeah, I do it for
Anytime
them.
they're like, yo, man, you drove down to Louisville and worked a comedy club down there? I'm like, it was pretty awesome. I did really well and made a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. Every people at work don't understand.
Yeah.
People at work, they're like, so I heard you did some comedy down in Cincinnati the other day. Sure did. Yeah, it was great. Look at you doing comedy on the road. It was great doing 5 minutes at the Pro-Am night at Go Bananas.
They do always talk about like, ooh, someone went to the big city. La-di-da, Mr. 513.
It's like, it wasn't even really Cincinnati. It was 45 minutes outside Dayton. Right. It was Cincinnati, technically.
I love how hardly any comedy clubs are actually in the city that they're promoted to be in.
Not a thing.
What's like
it's in Montgomery, you know?
What's like the weirdest question? Because you're talking like your coworkers. What's some of the weirdest questions that you get about stand-up? Because my favorite one, and I get it all the time, and I'm sure you guys have too. They'll be like, so you do stand-up? You go, yeah. They're like, so you like write your own stuff? Yeah, like you have to.
Yeah, it's not like that was a legitimate question in the 60s.
Yeah.
Like when Carlin and those guys, like I remember him, like the video of him going on Jackie Gleason, and they're like, this guy's original, writes his own material. Like that was a thing.
Right. And it's like, so how many people are out there thinking that like stand-up comedian, when they hear someone does stand-up comedy, they're like, yeah, I can go on stage and just recite someone else's jokes. It's like crazy.
That's how most performances are.
Yeah.
That's really,
It's like the only are where you have to do it your own stuff.
I don't even think it's that. I think people still to this day don't realize comedians aren't just making it all up.
Right.
I think to this day, because in the 2000s it was a big thing too, when like YouTube first came, people were first showing like, shitty cell phone clips of somebody like fucking up at a comedy club, and they're like, Sarah Silverman bombs at this thing, and she's like, it was a new bit I was doing for the first time.
Right.
You guys know I'm not just making this up off the top of my head.
It's
right?
crazy.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I headlined Wiley's one time, and then like I was after the Friday show, someone was like, that was good. So you doing a different set tomorrow night? I'm like, that was all I had.
You saw everything.
That's every joke.
Yeah, I did. Pulled out the old stuff. I'm like, so I was doing algebra homework the other day. They're like, he's 24. He shouldn't be doing algebra. That's how old the jokes were. But
let's just say it'll be at least 10 years for me before you see my name next to new hour.
Yeah, right.
Material.
And that's the thing too. Like when people are like, yeah, I'm shooting a special. I'm like, okay, have fun writing a bunch of stuff afterwards.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm because like you and I have been talking about like timing my shit out. It's like I'm coming up on, it'll be 20 years next year, and I'm still working on that first fucking hour.
We can boil that 20 years down 20 to like 5 or 6.
Let's go with 20 with an asterisk. Let's go. Let's. Yeah, but still, like it's still a lot of those jokes I've been telling for a long fucking time. It's just it takes a while.
But also, you get sick of telling them. Like that's where I'm at right now. It's like I think part of the joy, because I've been in a real writer's block, and part of the joy that's leaving me is like I'm just tired of telling these jokes, and I think the audience can feel that too, because you're like, did I like this joke? Usually crushes. Why did it bomb? It's like, oh, because your heart's not in it. You're not excited to tell it anymore. That's why it's like I don't know how these comedians like. When you see like 100-city tour, it's like, and then the end of it, you're shooting a special. It's like by the end of it, you're like bored of the jokes. How was that like the best?
That's why you see some of those specials, and they're like, "Why does this special not that good?"
Exactly.
And it's like, you know, I remember watching like one of Ron White's last specials. It's like I think it was like his retirement special. I think he's just fucking done.
Right.
Yeah, like, you hear that with musicians. They're like, "Yeah, why didn't you guys play this song on your set?" Because I've been playing that song for 10 fucking years. I'm tired of playing it.
And that's where it gets interesting, because like some comedians, like you see the special and you're like, this guy's not for me. But then like there was one comedian, it was actually, I hope he doesn't listen to this, but it was Bert Kreischer. And like I couldn't really.
I hope he does.
Yeah.
I really hope he does.
I couldn't ever really get through one of his specials. I like him on podcasts, but I couldn't really get through one of his specials. And then my sister was like, hey, I got tickets to see Bert live. You want to go? And I was like, I'll go. It was one of the best shows I've seen.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is that? What's the disconnect here? Where it's like, I don't know.
It's something about, I do not like the music of Hollywood Undead. One of the best concerts I've ever been to.
Really?
Hands down.
Is that the
such a great live show.
Is that the band that Johnny Depp's in?
No, that's the Hollywood Vampires.
I was close.
You were close.
Kind of.
Also good. Them I actually like listening to.
Hollywood Undead has that one insufferable song from 2012 that I hate to this day.
We sing
And then
it?
I don't know of anything else.
We sing it right now?
I think I know the one you're talking about too, and it's
I
not from
think isn't it called Undead?
No, it's from, I know, well, yeah, that's their first single, and it's from a lot earlier than 2012.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I was working in radio when that song came out.
You've worked in radio your whole life, I thought.
That was when I like first started working in radio. Was when that song came out. Like I had just started work. It was 08, 09.
Let's just think, oh, my fucking first name was Michael when that song came out. Yeah, that's forever, isn't it?
That's back when I was Kyle. Yeah.
What have you? Because we don't see it. We don't see it the mics as much anymore. I've noticed.
You bring me on here to call me out?
I did. No, I'm just giving you bullshit. No, I mean it's. I think it's kind of going back to what you're talking about. It's like, I think every comic gets to a point where it's like you go to the mics almost like in bursts. Like when you're tired of writing or we're tired of telling the same old shit. It's like, okay, now I'm going to do the mics more because it's like I need to. And then when you're not so much writing new stuff, it's like, okay, fewer mics, maybe you just, I don't know.
100%. And I think that's where I'm at right now. I was just thinking about that today. I was like, I got to start going out to mics more because or else I'm not going to work these bits out. Because that's I've got bits, but like whenever it comes to do a show, I'm like, well, I want to do well, so let me do my good stuff. And it's like, all right, well, that's the problem. But there was a period where like I was not having new stuff, and I was going to mics, and it was you work all day, and then you stay at a mic for 3 hours, and then you don't do well, and then you're like, I didn't get anything out of this. I didn't even try any new jokes. So that's why I kind of pulled back a little bit because I was going to like too many. Whereas like there was one time like. Weirdly enough, right after COVID, where comedy opened back up, I was like on stage like 12 times a week, which in Ohio is tricky.
Yeah.
And they were not good stage times. I was like, where are you getting up that much? I was like, I did a sidewalk a few days ago. And they're like, oh.
Parking lot of the comedy club?
Yeah, we did that. And so, yeah, I definitely have to get back out there to that degree. But yeah, there was a point where it's just like, I don't know, I hated like getting off stage and not feeling happy. And I think that was like dangerous for me. I was like, well, I don't want to hate this. And I don't want to get to the point where I get angry at this. And there are people that I know who have gotten to that point because I'm very scared of like wanting to quit, because you see people, you're like, what's that going to understand? It's like, oh, I quit. It's like, what? That's happening. Like, it's a real thing. And it's like, there are a lot of people who we are friends with now who will quit one day. I mean, we're all not going to do it till we're 90.
Right.
No, we're not all Jesse Nutt.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
There's that level of acceptance that's hard to absorb. Because like I don't think I've reached a point where Like I've obviously had like, all right, I'm gonna take it easy this month. I'm not gonna go out as much, but I've yet to like have the thought like, do I stop doing this? Like, do I not want this for myself anymore? Do I not want to put in the work? But like I'd be a fool if I didn't accept that those thoughts might happen eventually.
But also you get to a point where I'm also at where it's like, damn, I can't quit, because then it's like, that is a huge chunk of my life and time that I've dedicated to something, and now it's like gone. So now it's like, I'm in too deep. You know, it's like, you got to make this work.
And I mean, as somebody who did quit, I mean, once for sure, twice technically, I guess, but I could never stay away. It's the other thing too, is like, I mean, when people talk about like, it's like a drug, I mean, like, they're not kidding. Like, it's a hard mentality to break yourself out of that walking around always trying to like, is there a bit there? Is there a bit there? Is there a bit there? Like that idea of you can't just turn that part of your brain off.
Exactly. And there's
I feel like if I quit heroin, I feel like if I really wanted to, I could probably quit
You
heroin.
might have an easier time.
That's true.
Quitting thing seems to be your thing, apparently.
Right.
And then you get more bits about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how you get back in.
The question is, what would substitute it? Because obviously I have many substitutions for heroin.
Right.
What's a substitute for stand-up comedy?
Yeah.
Poetry?
Poetry?
What is it called?
Or heroin. I mean.
Poetry? Is that
Yeah, I think I'm just going to do fentanyl.
Just get back in.
Yeah, what would I hyperfixate on next? I mean, there's worse things I could be, quote unquote, addicted to, I guess.
It'd probably be gambling.
Probably be gambling on. Well, no, I tried gambling. I am not into it. After one loss, I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, well, it's interesting for me because I am like that. Like, I went to the casino.
Yeah.
I went to Vegas last year, and then I put like $20 on the slot machine. I lost it, and I was like, well, I'm done.
Yeah.
That wasn't fun. But then also, I'll get on
man than I.
DraftKings on Football Sunday, and I'll lose everything. And I'm like, what a rush. Greatest country in the world.
Follow the Dayton comedy scene on social media at Gem City Comedy, or learn more at www.gemcitycomedy.com.
Going back to what I was saying about stand-up, though, I do think it's important to... There was a point where I was like doing so much that I was like, I'm not writing anymore. I'm just doing these mics. And I'm not taking time to live. So it's like, where's the material going to come from? I can't be like up on stage like, so I was at a mic the other day. Like, nobody cares about that, you know?
Exactly.
That's a good point. You never really, even like the touring comedians that you see on the streaming platforms, they're never talking about doing stand-up. They're talking about their life. So obviously even they're doing 250 shows a year and still finding time to do extracurricular stuff and recreational activities to
And part of
get
that's
the material from.
Part of that's being on the road is like, when you think about it, you work an hour a night. So the rest of that time, it's like, go out there and explore the city you're in. That's, don't spend all day.
That's true.
Because it's easy.
They don't have like jobs.
Yeah. It's
I can only write so many jokes about my 9-to-5 job.
100%.
Yeah. I can't write any.
Well, that was a period of my life too, because it was like everybody I had was just about work, and I'm like, all right, well now it's like do something else. It's like because I kind of like, got everything I could out of that sponge, and now it's like, all right. But also there's like a weird thing in a comedian's brain. I feel like, I don't know if you guys have ever had this, where like you'll put yourself in a weird situation because you're like, oh, there could be a bit out of this. I don't want to be in this situation, but like literally the only reason I'm going in this is like, this could be a bit. Like if someone's I'm walking down like a downtown Dayton at night and someone's like, hey, come into this alley. Like I'd be like, I know I shouldn't, but bet you this will be funny.
Yeah.
I'm very much a big fan of doing something for the bit.
100%.
If it's for the sake of the bit. Like I had somebody ask me like if I would ever, because I had the idea of what if we did a drag stand-up show at the Neon, because the owner is one of the Ruby girls.
Oh, really?
So I was like, that'd be a cool thing to do there. And they were like, well, what if they asked you? I think it was my barber Bryce over at the barber. He was like, I think what if they were like, you could only do this if you like go on a date with a drag queen. I said, only if we film it.
Right.
I was like, if we make content out of it, yes.
Yeah.
I will end with an open mouth kiss.
Yeah.
I'm an ally. I don't give a fuck.
And
If it's for
Are
a
you an
bit.
ally if it needs to be filmed?
I need it for the bit though. I mean, we're doing it for a show.
Sounds like you're discrediting their existence.
Hey, if they're making a date part of the business deal, it's a business deal, not a date. I'm just saying.
I mean, hookers don't get filmed.
Are you equating
That
drag
they know
queens
of.
with hookers? You sick son of a bitch.
They're hooking themselves out for the day.
Exactly. It's business. Moving on. No, I'm a big fan of committing to the bit.
No. of
Anyway,
course.
Shay's gay.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like that's I'm trying to go for like walks now and just like let things happen. Now I was walking downtown the other day, and I just heard some guy go, "Gay mustache," and I was like, "What?" Like I shouldn't. It was clearly a crazy person,
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
and I was like, "Well, normally you wouldn't talk to somebody like that," but I was like, "Let's see where this goes." So I was like, "What's up?" He goes, "Gay mustache," and I was like, "That's what I thought you said." I was like, "You say my mustache is gay?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Your mustache is gay." And then I was with my friend, and he goes, and his too. And then I was like, "Oh, dude, he got roped into it as well." And this guy was clearly homeless, pushing a cart, but he did have a homeless woman with him. So I couldn't even be like, "I'm doing better than you," because I'm like,
Was
well,
this recently?
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I think I know that couple.
Yeah.
Because I work downtown.
Yeah.
And they are a recently homeless couple.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've seen them fighting on the street corner about whose fault it is they're homeless.
That's you never think about recently homeless. There is day one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, especially because I spend so much time down there, like by like Levitt, where a lot of them hang out. So I was like, I've never seen them here before.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not Tom, Dick, or Jane. Like,
I wonder how that goes. Like, I wonder, like, if the rest of the homeless people are like, "Oh, so what are you in for?" Like, what happened? You know, like,
what are you out for?
that's great. What are you out
It's a good
No, it is. Yeah, it's. But they'll also like you could tell they are newly homeless because like you want to try to get money from people, and if you keep shouting "gay mustache" at people,
I don't know. If people said that to me, here's all my money. That's hilarious.
No, yeah, it was very. I respected it. Also, I want to get to that point too because he has nothing to lose. I mean, like, why not? Like, I can't do that because I'm a normal, civilian, and I have a life. I can't be like gay mustache. I'll die. I'll get killed. And also, you can't shout "gay mustache" when you have a gay mustache. But then I told that story.
Unless
to
you're just
people.
advertising it.
Yeah, it's true.
Gay mustache. Get your gay mustache, yeah?
Something about ballparks. But I told people that story, and I was like, "Isn't this funny?" And they go, "No, yeah, we were all talking." And I was like, "Oh, what?" I was talking to my friend. I'll name drop his name, Joe Robinette. We all know him.
Yeah.
And I go, "Can you believe that guy said a gay mustache?" He goes, "Yeah, my wife agrees." I said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, she says you have a gay mustache." I'm like, "This is crazy." Also, why would you not tell me?
Give me a heads up.
Can Joe Robinette really talk?
About his mustache is
Was
like,
he the friend of the homeless guy said that guy's got a gay mustache too?
No, that was Mark Perkins. Also, I don't care. Yeah, Joe's mustache, he does look like he was like an old engineer who
He's a little more grizzled.
yeah. But it's a thinner mustache.
He has worked in the mailroom for 20 years mustache.
Yeah. It looks like a guy who's too tired to tie women to railroad tracks.
Did you kidnap her? Man, do you know what kind of day I have?
Yeah, no, I'm not today.
You think you killed her with what free time? I said that to a girlfriend one time. She was like, "I think you're cheating on me." I was like, "When?"
That's very funny. I don't even.
I was working 2 jobs and all my free time, extra time was with her. I was
Right.
When do I have time to bang somebody else?
That was my thing too. When I was like dating this girl one time, and we weren't really like, being physical that much, and she like brought it up. She's like, "Is there somebody else?" I was like, "I'm too tired to have sex with you. You think I've got enough energy to deal with somebody on the side?" No.
I just appreciated the compliment. I was like, "Good for you for thinking I still got it."
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Whenever a girl brings that up, I'm like, "Hey, I barely tricked one girl."
Right?
into dating me.
Like, I'm still trying to figure out how I got you.
What was funny because this girl I'm seeing right now, the way we met is, I was just standing quietly off to the wall of the bar, and then she came up to me, and then she brought something up the other day. She's like, I was like, "Oh, I'm going out." She's like, "Oh, you're going to go talk to a bunch of girls?" I was like, "When you met me, did I look like I was crushing it out there?" It's just you rescued me like a sad puppy in the rain. That's what happened.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if that's why she chose you. She felt like a little safer.
Yeah.
Like this guy, I'm not worried about this guy going around.
That's a good point.
That's probably depressing.
No, it's true. That's why women like me. They're like, "Well, no, he's not cheating on me. I'm not really lining up for this guy."
Follow the Dayton comedy scene on social media at Gem City Comedy or learn more at www.gemcitycomedy.com. I was at Barrel House the other day, and these two girls were talking on the patio, and they turned to me and said, "Excuse me, could you watch our stuff for us when we go inside?" I said, "Oh, sure." I was like, "Oh, that's so nice." They feel.
Did you feel offended though? They didn't think that you were the kind of guy that would try to.
No, I felt like, oh, cool. They feel safe with me. But,
cool.
but then I also realized I'd spent the last like 20 minutes talking to Allie, so they also figured I was probably just there with, I was there with Allie. So
to teach him a lesson, you roofied him.
I did, yes.
Yeah, how else are they going to learn?
Well, I drank it myself to show them like this is what it looked. This could have been you, and just imagine this, but you. Like,
And then you went up on stage and performed stand up, and they were like, "Yeah, we need to not do that."
Yeah. This is
close.
Yeah. God, there's some guy in the back about to put one in someone's drink. Like, wait, is that what I'm doing to people? Holy shit. God, I belong in jail.
You ever think about that? You ever think someone's like about to roofie someone and they're like, what am I doing? Who am I?
Honestly, probably, I would say more than half of the people that are about to roofie somebody stop themselves at the last minute. Because that's got to be the most exhilarating part of it, right? Like the moment where they're like, here it goes. Like that has to probably be like the make or break moment for it. I bet a lot of people break.
Or how many people backed out? How many people put it in and were like, I don't want to do this. I got to get that drink. Like, I got to get that drink before she does. Can
they face that shame, though? Like, ma'am, don't drink that. I put GHB in it.
No, I would rather just be an insane person who just grabs it and like just chugs it and be like, oh, thought it was mine. And then I would leave. Then I would just leave.
New drinking game. just excuse me real quick. I have to go.
Yeah. You're not going to want to stick around for what's about to happen. And then it's a race against the clock to drive home.
But then it turns out she was going to roofie you the whole time anyway. So
that could be a rom-com.
That's the meat.
That would be
Excellent.
a wonderful story.
It's crazy the things that men are saying to women. Mm-hmm. Like whenever you're like, oh, like I had a bad date. It's like ask any woman, and they'll tell you the worst thing they've ever heard in their life. Like I was at a bar the other night, and like, with this girl I'm seeing, and I went to the restroom for 1 second. Like, oh, not now. Went to the restroom for 1 second. I came back out, and then like her and her friend were like having a conversation with these two guys, and I like walked up. I was like, hey, like I thought they were like friends and everything. And then I realized it was a heated conversation, and these guys were just furious that these girls didn't want to talk to them, and would not leave. And then just be like, why don't you want to talk to us and everything like that, and just like started being mean to them. And I'm like, why do you think that would help? What do you think why not walk away? If I went up to a girl and I was like, hey, how are you? And she's like, oh, I'm not interested. Not only would I stop talking to her, I'd leave the state. I'd probably go home for the night and be like, well, that was it. And that's why I don't go up and talk to people. I was like, I can't, the idea of you saying no would ruin me. It's like, I don't want that feeling. And the people who can go up and just be like, hey, buy a drink? Nope. All right. Hey, buy a drink. I'm like, well, God bless you. You're a superhero, but it's not me.
I'm going to try to make eye contact a couple of times first.
Yeah.
Normally you can catch a vibe from across the room, So I make eyes with a lady, and I
Right.
she doesn't immediately just go every time she sees me, then I might ask her. I don't just.
Well, yeah, but if Lori does that to you, that makes the drive home weird.
You're like, we're going to the same place.
I forgot I was married. I'm over here making plans and stuff.
I get really hyped up for you. I was like, we going out after this? I think we're going out. No, but you're right. That is the telltale sign.
Yeah. Guys that like the balls on guys that just go up to anybody, even if they're way out of their league, get a couple drinks in them. They walk up behind chicks or like meet them at the door when they walk in. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I feel weird swiping right on somebody on an app that I feel is out of my league. Like there's some invisible person on my shoulder. Like, really, Mike, you think you're going to match with her? Really? Or if I swipe left, like there's another one there going like, come on, dude.
Right.
Really?
Well, that's what I would swipe left on girls who are too pretty. And that probably hurts the feelings of the girls that I did match with in the past. But I'm like, just like, because there's so many bots on these dating apps that you're like, well, you're not real. And then there was one girl that I did match with one time who was just so attractive. And we were having a conversation. And we had a conversation for a couple of days, but eventually I had to stop. I'm like, this is never going to work. It's like, you're just too pretty. It's not happening. Like, and I started to do a bit about that too, because I was also so worried it was just a long con of a bot. because they're getting good. They're getting
They are.
like just like don't make me fall in love with you. Just send me the virus right away.
Yeah.
I know what joke you're talking about too. It's actually really funny.
Oh, thanks. But it's like, I don't know. It's like, because like they used to be like you'd match with somebody who was like pretty, and then they're like, here's this virusy link, and you're like, oh, all right. But now it's like, how's your day going? And you're like, don't do this to me.
Well, because now they've got like those like, have you seen like those AI girlfriend apps people can get now?
No.
I see ads for them on like before I got premium. The on YouTube, it was like those dating sims, but like you can get it on your phone, and it's like basically like if you wanted to fuck Siri, I guess. And I'm like, who?
If
Isn't
I
that a
wanted to.
Joaquin Phoenix movie?
Yeah, it's like we've made a movie about why this is a terrible idea.
Joker?
Yeah. Pretty sure Big Bang Theory did an episode about why that's dumb. Like, yeah, I don't know. But to your point, I think it's like, yeah, with the way AI has gotten so good at creating conversation and shit, it's all you got to do is get some stock photos, and you can create 10 different dating profiles that.
Well, it's also the guys who think they're talking to women on OnlyFans. Like you don't think they sent that job out overseas long ago,
right?
It's like you're not talking to that woman who has a billion guys trying to talk to her.
No, she is making enough money to drive a Porsche just posting her tits online. She's not just talking to you, bud.
Exactly. And also, I think I saw this TikTok the other day where it was like some college frat guy who like his job was to work for like one of those OnlyFans girls, and was like just replying to like these guys' really horny messages, and just like, and I'm like, oh man,
that's got to be the worst.
I was thinking the best.
I was gonna say, is it?
Because I know exactly what they're gonna want to hear.
Oh yeah,
like I am basically selling it for whoever the chick I'm working.
What would I want?
Yeah.
Fucking Jenna Jameson to say to me, or whoever the fuck. Wow, that is the most dated porn reference I wow, I got nothing. Couldn't even think of Stormy Daniels, Mike. Come on. Anyway,
we're building a generation of incels. I mean, like
1,000%.
I do think guys are going to want to go out less when they're just like, I'll just stand and do this. Like,
yeah.
I mean, think about.
I'm okay with that.
But
you're
also,
saying our girls will be safer now.
You're not wrong. But also, it on the flip side of that could create the potential of like, well, what do you mean, girls and sex and their tits aren't just available at all times for money?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's good. It's like the idea, like when Walmart created that idea of, you know, like if you basically come and bitch enough in customer service, we'll give you whatever you find for whatever price you want. It's like, yeah, but now that's basically created Karen culture.
Exactly.
So
my least favorite thing is I've worked in retail a long time, and like when like my boss would be like, if somebody bitched enough, he'd like, oh, just give it to him for free. I'm like, no, because then he wins and he goes to the next place and goes, well, it worked last time, so let me ruin this guy's day again. Hate that more than anything.
I worked at Walmart for a long time. I've never been a fan of that. It's like, well, I was on this shelf and it says that it was for this price. Well, no, that sticker says that this vacuum is $40. Mm-hmm. That vacuum is $70. Why? Well, it was in the wrong spot. That sucks.
Yeah.
That's not going to hold up in a court of law. Like,
yeah, good luck.
Any schmuck can walk down the aisle and move some stuff around. Like,
for all I know, you moved that. But then you can't say that because then you're accusing them of stealing it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, it's you're 100% right. And luckily, I've got a job now where they're pretty, well known for their customer service, but also to the degree they're like, oh, yeah, if someone's a dick like that, like you can just tell them to leave. I'm like, oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, working in a rehab, I have it made because I'm technically providing a service to customers. They're clients, but like, they're paying for the treatment that they're getting. So they're technically our customers. Mm-hmm. But like, it's literally my job to challenge them on their distorted thinking. So when they start being even the smallest bit of an asshole, I don't have to hold back at all. I can fucking stab them in the neck.
No, and just doing what I do, I do social media for my company. So I have the benefit of hiding behind a company's logo. And then if somebody starts being shitty, I can just not respond.
Yeah.
I don't have to respond to them. Or even better, I can just say, hey, I tell my boss, can you handle this, dickhead? And then they can throw some corporate legal. They can get nasty with them.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about greeting people after shows? Like I do it and I love doing it and everything because it means the world if somebody came out and saw me do stand up, but also I'm not good at it.
I'm.
Same.
It's one of those because it hasn't happened enough. When it does, it weirds me out because I'm like, are you fucking with me, or are you being polite, or like when we did the gallery show and those ladies came up at the end and were asking for autographs. Granted, because they were the ones that got shitty with me at the beginning, but I was still like, are they doing this
Right? Are they?
like because they genuinely had a good time? Or are they doing this because they were shitty when they got here? And it's always, I never know how to feel about it.
And you're afraid they're going to take out a pen to sign something. I'm like, I'm kidding, dude.
Right?
Fuck
yeah.
you.
Like, am I an asshole for signing an autograph? Who the fuck am I? Like, yeah.
The pen they give you is just one of those things that when you go to click it, it just zaps you.
Oh my god.
It is one of those things too, because people will ask for a picture. Like, can I get a picture with you? And I always take it, but it's like, once it's like we were talking about earlier, like, when you got to look at this, or you will look at it and you'll be like, who the fuck was that?
Right?
Well, it's more, and I think for a lot of who the fuck was that is the great thing. I was like, yeah, where are you going to post this on your Instagram story? Are you going to tag me? Is everybody going to like that? I'm sure.
I always tell them that. I go post it and tag me, and they go, okay. Never do.
Not once. Okay. No.
Or the ones that have, it's happened twice. Horrendous picture.
Oh, the worst.
Horrendous.
The ones we got from when we did the cat adoption when they were at the 3 Mike show.
Yeah.
All the pictures they took of me with the cats were blurry as fuck.
Yeah. I was just at my sister's wedding over the weekend, and they started, sending us the pictures and everything like that. And my sisters will be like, "Hey, we're gonna post this one." Of course, like they look great. My parents look great. And then it's just like me, I'm like, "Oh my god, was I sneezing?
I know.
What was that?"
There's also a level of subjectiveness when you're looking at a picture of yourself. Like I would wager to say that you probably look fine.
I'll show you the pictures.
Prove me wrong. I kind of hope you do. I want to
You're
laugh
like,
at you.
"Oh fuck, never mind. You are right."
Sneezing. Were you coming?
Yeah. I also like, no matter how old I get, I never get the hang of taking a picture. I always feel like a serial killer when I'm like, everyone's like, it's so weird to do an artificial smile. You ever think about that? How weird that is? When smile and you're like,
I can't. I've never been able to. Every school picture of me is that weird, awkward white person half smile that they make when they pass by each other in the hallway.
Yep.
Yeah, every school picture is that. I've never been able to.
It's fine.
That was terrifying.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that.
Those are better than like a crazy serial killer smile. Yeah. Because I'll make like a dumb face in a photo. Like everyone gets together and I'll do something like, and then everyone's like, "Oh no, do a real smile." And then I go, "All right, I will, but it's not gonna look good."
Mine is when this do a real smile. That was okay.
I just pretend that I'm laughing. Like I fake laugh a little bit. And
Yeah.
That's what ends up being the good smile.
I try that too, but then also you feel insane because you got to do it quietly. You can't be like, thinking of the smile. You can't be like, they're like, "Who the fuck is that guy?"
Pretend we're laughing about something.
Yeah.
I'm in Craig Ewing's ear.
Yeah. What'd you say? Are you burping the word blacks?
Yeah.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a running gag. It's a running gag.
I do it a lot.
Yeah, we do it. It's like I'm gonna get to the point where I'm gonna start doing like a counter in the corner.
So I was like, I'm talking about
Usually I'll have like a 6-pack with me and I'll be like drinking beer while we record. So it's just letting them rip.
Yeah, I thought you were just saying that because I was talking about the University of Alabama.
I mean, yeah, it was an apt time for me to say it.
So if you're in the Tuscaloosa area, that's where I'll be.
Cool, man. Good for you.
Hey, thanks.
I want you to say hi to Nick Saban for me.
Don't think he's there anymore.
Oh, yeah. Anything else? Is that it?
I think we're good, man.
Anything else you want to plug in? What do you got to plug in, Mike?
Shit. I'm open micing the rest of the year, working on new shit. And so,
Nice.
shit. We just did. Vander and I were just on Comics and Dragons, the first episode of the new season. That was a lot of fun. You're closing out Bricky's at the end of the week, right?
Bricky's October 18th. I'll be at Bricky's closing out the open mic. October 27th, 2 Sundays from now, we're doing The Laughing Lyricist at Blind Bob's. It will be a music/comedy show.
Hell yeah.
Sick.
With Sixth Sense, Callie Botkin, Def Goldblum, and myself.
Good lineup.
That's a good group of people. That's a good
I'm going
group
to try to get like a regular show going there where it's...
Good for you trying to get
musical
something going
comedy.
at Bob's again.
Yeah.
I've known Sixth Sense for years now, and it turns out, I just found this out, turns out he's been dead the entire time. Yeah, baby!
80-year-old dusty nipples he keeps in his mouth, man.
Yolas. I love how he calls them Yolas.